till June, July in 2019, he was not on any kind of medication. I called few people, and the bodyguard Sahil, he told me that he was on certain medication. That was the time when Sanjana had just left for States. There were sleepless nights, 2, 3 nights. There was a lot of stress. Yes. Let's say like if Sanjana had picked up the phone or responded on time on the first day, the damage would have been less compared to answering after a few days. It was a thing this year, Jan. I had texted Sushant the number which I had. He didn't respond. It was just like one tick. So I figured he must have changed his number. And then I had texted almost the same message to Rhea also. She received it, but then she didn't reply.
It's been over 2 months to Sushant Singh Rajput's mysterious death, and today we have his close friend and aide, Samuel Haokip, joining us for a conversation only on Pinkfilla. Welcome, Samuel, and thank you for taking out your time for us. Before we begin, let me first clarify that you are Samuel Haokip and not Samuel Miranda. So there were two Samuels who were Sushant's friends. So how many times have people, misunderstood you as Samuel Miranda, who's been named in the FIR? Your name has not been in the FIR.
A lot, like people are getting confused a lot because they don't know that. I mean, how Samuel Miranda looks like. So I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where people have put the thumbnail. I mean, my picture on their thumbnail, and the video is all about Samuel Miranda. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot of trolling because of that also. But then I have to make people understand, so it's fine.
Samuel, I will start off where it started. You were in Sushant's pro team, which he was designing and forming to build on his dreams and achieve them.
Correct.
When was the time when you were with him, and when was the time you left?
See, I was in Delhi. I was practicing in Delhi, and then through a mutual friend, Kushal Zaveri had contacted me. There was a requirement for a person who understands the legal, basics of the legal contracts, or like the legal practice. So um, these guys, they came for a Bata shoot in Gurgaon. So I met them once, and then I used to just translate, or like make them explain the contracts, the clauses of the contracts through phone from Delhi. I was still in Delhi, and then somewhere in October, they called me in the night, and they were like, just come to Bombay, and and then I moved with him after a few months of working. Then yeah, and then I left in July 2019. So I started somewhere around October. I started staying with him, with Sushant and other guys at KP Heights somewhere around October 2018. Yeah.
You stayed in even post Ria's entry in his life, right? Like if it was October, then you knew Ria. So when Ria came in, when was the first time you met Ria, and what was your interaction with her about all these months? Was there any interaction?
Yeah, somewhere around, I think, March, April 2019, I guess. I'm not sure. So yeah, and it was through Sushant. Sushant had asked me, like, so we had met first time. I don't remember where exactly, but then after that, Sushant had asked me, we were playing tennis in Waterstones, and Sushant had asked me to text Ria from my phone to just to like congratulate her on her first day of her shoot for Chehre. And yeah, so I did that, and I said, yeah, hi, like, congratulations on your first day of shoot, and this is my number, Sam, save my number. So, and then, yeah, and then that's how, we started talking to each other. And, but then I was there for like few more months. So I didn't really get to know her, like, that well.
Tell me something. A lot is being spoken about Sushant. There is this whole depression theory that has been doing the rounds ever since his death, and nobody knows whether it is true or not. And if it's not true, then somebody might be propagating it. He was going to he was visiting a doctor. This has been reported by the doctors also. Has any of it? He was medicated. Have you seen any of it? Because in a few interviews, I did read that you said that he was taking a few medication in front of you. Where did you see who was prescribing him the medication or who was giving it to him at home?
No, Nandi, I never said anything about medications. I don't know anything about medications because uh, till June, July in 2019, he was not on any kind of medication. Someone had asked me on media that did you speak to someone after Sushant's demise? So I said yes. I called few people, and the bodyguard uh, Sahil, he told me that he was on certain medication. But then I told them that even that is an hearsay for me because it's part of the investigation. I mean, right now there are like two agencies involved in this, and it's sub judice, so we can't really comment on what's what.
You are a lawyer, and I want to ask you this: that there has been a financial angle that has come into the picture after the FIR was lodged against Rhea and a few others. You used to handle his finances till a point. Um, was there any kind of discrepancies that you saw when Rhea walked in? Was there things that Sushant was paying for Rhea? Was there any kind of those things that were mentioned in the account?
There were a couple of incidences, but then I mean, those were not something which would be flagged in my view because it would come under a friendly gesture. Let's say like we go out for a movie and one friend buys tickets for all. I mean, I'm not talking about. I'm just giving a small analogy, but till the time I was there, the kind of expenses which you're talking about regarding Ria, it was pretty much friendly, I would say. So there was nothing alarming or nothing that I would flag it. You know.
But since you were handling his account, a lot has been spoken about how almost his account went from 50 crores to 2 crores. Uh, when you were handling his account, was he short of money? Was there ever a point where he felt that he didn't have enough money, or you felt that he didn't have enough money?
No, I mean I can't really like speak about the amount because it's sub judice. But then like there was never a point that he was worried about money. I mean, uh, the pro team and Sushant used to discuss a lot of projects, and I mean even if you take one project and work on it really well and really hard, it has the potential to become the next $1 billion project. So I mean money was never an issue, and he was also getting a lot of movies at the same time. And but then his interest, his interest was not really inclined towards so much towards money. Like somewhere I think I don't remember in 2018 winter or something. I heard him discuss about some organic farming and things like that. So yeah, I mean there was never a point where he was really worried about. But then yes, of course he would. He used to tell me like to uh, make sure that the spending is proper. It's not it's not wasted. Or if we let's say if we order food like from some place for like a lot of people, then we should not just like keep ordering blindly and just I mean just take care of like expenses properly
Yeah.
like a prudent man. That's all. So yeah, it was very balanced.
You were also there with Kushal and Siddharth Gupta and other people who all of you were staying together. I've seen pictures. Um, Kushal has come out and spoken about how the whole Me Too uh, stories and the whole Me Too episode affected him personally. Did he ever speak to you guys personally on that? What was he going through? What was he disturbed? Of course he was, but did he speak to you about it?
No, see, like that time, I had just moved into the Pali Hill flat, And yeah, I mean, all the discussions were together with the team. And at that time, Kushal was slightly more closer to Sushant, since they had worked before. Obviously, if there was something additional Sushant would want to share, he would have shared with Kushal, I presume. And yeah, but yeah, we discussed a lot among the team members, and yeah,
No, but what
we
did he
know
tell
like
you
what happened.
about the whole Me Too thing?
If you're
Matlab?
asking me, tell me. I mean, he didn't tell me anything specifically about the thing, because as I said, I had just moved into his. So it happened. So I moved in October, right? And that was the time when Sanjana had just left for States. There were sleepless nights, 2, 3 nights. There was a lot of stress, yes. But then, yeah, we discussed a lot of angles, legal angles, and like what can we do best. And then later we decided to go with the chats which Sushant had. And yeah, so I don't know, like, what can I say about
But
it?
do you also feel like, Kushal, that Sanjana could have responded a little earlier? He has put out an entire post on Sanjana and her not responding on time and how that affected Sushant. Sushant never spoke out about it.
See, of course, I mean, if you're talking about Sushant, you have to understand that, the damage, uh, I mean, the damage to reputation is is done like, every second. I mean, I don't have so many followers on Instagram, let's say, and Sushant has. And I'm not just talking about one platform, it's about a reputation that one person maintains in a civil society, after doing like
Yeah,
reputed projects, right? So then when such thing comes up, every second you don't do anything about something which is supposed to be done, any kind of omission that still like contributes to a lot of damage, because damage is being done. I mean, right? So if let's say, like, I'm just like hypothetically speaking, let's say like if Sanjana had picked up the phone or responded on time on the first day, the damage would have been less compared to answering after a few days. So yeah, legally I feel that the damage was, yeah, quite huge.
done. A lot of people, there are glaring inconsistencies in the statements of a lot of people, including Siddharth Pithani, Sandeep Singh, and many others who claim to be his closest aides when he passed away. Tell me something. Did you know Siddharth Pithani and Sandeep Singh at all?
No, I don't know Sandeep Singh, but yeah, Siddharth Pithani, yes, because Siddharth Pithani also entered somewhere around that time, 2019 beginning. So
But was he somebody who Sushant could trust?
uh, I mean, yeah, of course, and that's why he was there with Sushant. I mean, so that's
But looking at the whole
I
case
don't know
today,
how to answer that one.
tell me something, looking at the
Hmm.
whole case today and the trajectory of what is happening, because you will understand statements and law much better than I would or anybody else would. I want to know this, that don't you feel that there are inconsistencies in his statements where he's initially going and saying that I called the watchman is saying that I didn't get any call, he called the driver didn't want to go and get the doctor, he's saying that I didn't want to wait and I slashed the kurta because I wanted to see if there is any life in him, but he eventually waited 2.5 hours to break open the door. So there are inconsistencies in his statements for sure, which is out there. Don't you notice that? What is your opinion on this?
See, I also watched his interview in length. I also tried to research what his statements are, Siddharth Pithani's. Sushant, if he was close to someone like Kushal Zaveri or Siddharth Gupta or I, like in the last few months, I mean, we all had like uh, slightly like stronger bond with Sushant compared to like other people in the house. So uh, we could barge in into his room, just knock and be like, "Bhai, what's up? What are you doing? Are you watching something?" Uh, like, just like, talk to him, chill. And and there were other people in the house, let's say Keshav or Neeraj. They are supposed to knock and, like, maybe ask, but then they're not supposed to, like, interfere too much into Sushant's, private life. So when I when I was listening to the media statements by all these guys, Siddharth Pithani, and they're talking about they knocked and they waited, it seemed like, kind of okay to me, because in a way, that's how, if the relationship, he also said it on media that his relationship with Sushant was, limited, and he would not interfere too much in his private life. And yeah, so he's gonna knock, and, like, if he's not gonna open the door, then the first thing which they would do is, like, just wait, because
But for two and a
you
half
can't.
hours,
That I
to
don't know. That I don't know. That the agencies will have to check if it's 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours, and why, they have, like, they have taken statements of these guys for like 10 hours. I'm sure they have, substantial evidence. What we have is just like few minutes of what they want to show to the media.
did you ever get a point to touch base with Sushant or the team or Rhea after you left?
Yeah. So it was a thing this year, Jan. I had texted Sushant, the number which I had. He didn't respond. It was just like one tick. So I figured he must have changed his number. And then I had texted almost the same message to Ria also. She received it, but then she didn't reply. So I was like, I think, like, no one wants to talk. So, I'm not gonna push. And they're like busy people. So I'll just, like, refrain.
Thank you so much for taking out time to doing this. And I know it's been a difficult phase for you. All of us are fighting for justice, and I hope it's served, because Sushant deserves it. His family deserves to know and have that closure, and his friends and fans who have loved him so much, including you and me and everybody else, deserve that closure. Thank you, Samuel. Uh, and hopefully, law will take its course.
Yes. Thanks. Thanks, Nandi.